Test, test. Microphone is plugged in, but for some reason it wasn't working. I unplugged it, plugged it all back in. Now it seems to be working. Hey, Iron Thunder. You watched the docking live as well? There we go. Yeah, we were watching it live first thing in the morning. When I woke up, I turned on the YouTube on my phone, and they were 20 meters, just over 20 meters, and they're just going into the hold for 20 meters. I'm like, yep, perfect timing. So it should be. I thought it was going to be 2 hours before they could get into the spaceship or into the space station, but it sounds like it's going to be within an hour. Okay, going to your grandma's place. Cool. Hear sound. Might just be the fan. So I guess they're just connecting everything together. Power, comms, all that stuff. Equalize the air between them. put a 360 camera up in there so we could rotate it. I guess they have to, yeah, everything up there has to be considered how much electricity it takes, how much power, all that stuff is. Everything up there is calculated to the last amp. Oh, we got quite a bit of rain yesterday. Definitely more than they said yesterday. Yeah, it looks like all the rain is bypassing us today on the radar. Yeah, we had enough rain yesterday and lightning and thunder, like actual lightning and thunder. 20 strikes plus. And we actually lost power for a second. Computer died, and I lost all the work I did on the game. Whoop, got interference. Tractor's not going where I told it to go. I have autosave on. It just, I think I have it set to 15 minutes. So I didn't lose all of the gameplay. I just lost a good chunk of the gameplay. It's like, oh, well, I'll just have to redo that. So it was okay. It was enough to be a little bit annoying, but not enough to delete the game and restart. Because I've had that with, like, been playing a game for 5 or 6 hours, and then it's like, no. Yep, restarting that game. No point of redoing that whole game. But you'll notice our money, we're at 70 grand. But there's not much to do on the farm. After seeding this, we'll have to fast forward some time. I don't know if I have anything in storage that needs to be sold. I'll have to look. After seeding these potatoes. And look at the prices. Make sure we're okay on the prices, not to go run and sell before I fast forward. Yesterday was a lazy day. I didn't get anything done. I played farming sim on and off all day long. Took some short breaks, but I played this game quite a bit yesterday. We basically went from $50,000 in our bank account to $70,000. Yeah, I have to do a lot of real world stuff today, so once the space capsule is, once the astronauts are on board, I think I'll call it, and then I gotta go do a bunch of real life work. Because I was lazy yesterday, now I have to do it all in one day. Alright, potatoes are seeded. Alright, sounds good. Repair everything and then we'll fill up the harvester or the planter. Guess I parked too far forward that the weight isn't an option, but that's okay. Oh, no, turn cruise control off. Not cruise control, GPS. Guidance steering. We got some straw bales here, but I want more. So I planted barley this time. Hmm? Yes, they've opened the space station's door, and you can see the shuttle, or not the shuttle, the capsule now. No, no, they're drying their suits for an hour. They've taken their suits off. Oh no, I wanted to start this tractor, fill up the potatoes. Oh, you made me tea. Thanks. Now, what's the price of potatoes? Because that's still quite a bit of potatoes there. Okay, oh, skip over the potatoes. 177. That's a decent price. I think we're gonna sell some more potatoes. Oh no, I just slammed into the plow. Okay. I don't know, the plow didn't do anything to me. That was a plow? Oh no, never mind. Windrower. Lift it all the way up. It should make almost a full trailer. What's that? The mist overnight? Oh, what you're going over the live stream to see what we missed while we were sleeping. Got it. Yeah, they did another manual burn while we were sleeping, yep. Communication problem? Yep, there's a communication problem. Yeah, 360 camera would be so awesome that we could move around. Yeah. Oh, you want 360 camera in real life? No, must be full. %. Cool. What's the price of silage? Silage is going down in price right now, but that's still a really good price right here at the straw barn. So you could literally just scoop it up and sell it. Keep an eye on it. Yeah, it doesn't, like in 2017 the prices would change drastically as you sold stuff, but it doesn't do that here. What, $102? Definitely need to get a bigger front end loader, that's for sure, but not our priority right now. Priority is more property. Whoa. Interference. Interference. So they still have a communication issue. Ah, you're back. Yeah, they're having communication issues on from the capsule. It seems like the umbilical, there might be an issue there with connection. So, wow, there better be more outrage for that. So we're having, in the US right now, having huge, huh, hmm? Having these big revolts against the wrongful death of a African American gentleman that was suspected of forgeries, and the cop killed him. Now we're having all these riots, and during these riots, there's this reporter just recording the riots far away, and all of a sudden, a cop turns around and starts shooting rubber bullets at the reporter, and that reporter is now blind in an eye, shooting rubber bullets at the reporter. It's like, what's wrong with you? This is why the riots are here in the first place, of wrongful. Another press guy got pepper sprayed in the face. It's like, I'm with the press. I'm not doing anything here. I'm not here part of the revolt. I'm just recording it. I'm just recording this here. It's like, this whole thing on fake news, the reporters have become the enemy when all they're doing is witnessing it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the one reporter was left blind in the eye because a cop decided to turn around and start shooting at the reporters. It's like, what the heck? And it was live TV. There better be a lawsuit for that. It's like, we got cameras. We have, like, it's obvious that they're with press. The the U.S. has a serious police corruption issue right now. There's a lot of good cops out there, but there is a couple of bad apples that are just absolutely out of control. And honestly, we need the riots to stop the stuff. Because if we just stand back and don't do anything, they're going to keep doing it. So, yeah, US being the US, exactly. Yeah, these power-hungry police have to be shown that if you hurt innocent people, you're going to get hurt back. So, if I was black, I'd be out there rioting right now. Uh, pictures of a cop car running over people. What? You're there to protect and serve, not to run over and kill, not to shoot in blind. Innocent, peaceful people. Yes, rioters need to be kept control of, but the rioters have good reason for being out there. We'll see if Trump's speech yesterday made it worse or better. The mayor is defending the police for doing stupid stuff like that? Yeah. That's hopefully political suicide. Police need to be held accountable. Honestly, if the police do some kind of crime like that, they should have a harsher penalty than a regular civilian. Because they go through special training. They should be better than a regular civilian. Price has gone down by $1, but you're still getting $101 each scoop. We've made $3 grand already. This isn't a full scoop, so it won't be. As much money. You don't even know what to write. Yeah, it's just stupid. I'm going into Washington tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on riots. If there's any big riots going on, I make sure I avoid that area overnight. I think it's got a long way to be #1 in corruption, but yeah, there's and like I said, there's a lot of good cops out there, but there's a few like example of the guy with the rubber bullets. There's like 50 cops all facing the protester. All of a sudden, there's one cop that decides to turn around and start shooting at the reporters. It's like, so It's a small percentage, but that small percentage is doing a lot of damage. And that small percentage needs to be fired. Fired, suspended, go to prison. Oh, good luck trying to stop that, but there's certain provinces that are not allowing you into the province, especially East Coast. Manitoba was bragging about they want to be the first one to open, and they're still not allowing anyone into the province, so maybe they've rethought that. Maybe a good thing. So it sounds like the shuttle, or not the shuttle, I keep calling it the shuttle, but the capsule is still having issues with communication. We have an inside view of the capsule now. So they're doing other stuff than just working with communications. They're still getting ready to go on to ISS, I think, without the communication issue solved. Two days in a row with no COVID deaths. Okay. Yep, definitely very few COVID cases coming in now, and in BC. In BC, Canada's still not doing great, but in BC we're doing really good with COVID. We just have to stay. They can't just open everything up and then have that second wave, because that would be stupid. Hey Aiden, high pitched noise getting to you? That's I want to hear them talk though. I'm watching the SpaceX Live broadcast on YouTube. In the background right now is a high pitch on that video. Yeah, they're working on cleaning up everything on the inside the capsule right now, and they're trying to work on the communication issue. There's a lot of tire marks here. You finally have a schedule going on your channel. One video every 3 days. And I watched your 2 videos last week. Well, to be honest, I started watching one of the videos and I realized it wasn't in English, so. But I watched the other one, the English one I watched, all the way. I still give both a thumbs up. He's pouring water into a pouch, so yeah, he's probably having food. I'm making food going. I'm hungry. Yeah, I noticed that too. Some of the control centers, depending on which control center you're looking at, the one at NASA or the one at Houston, or the one in Houston, or the one California, maybe. I don't know. The two different ground stations. One of them, the one at SpaceX, they're all wearing masks. But the one at NASA, nobody's wearing masks. Or few people are wearing masks. potato prices are actually going up a little bit. So it's a good thing I haven't sold that trailer yet. At some point I took the chains off the tractor's tires. Don't remember doing that. They're definitely mixing their packages with, yeah, put water in to re-moisturize and mix it up and then eat whatever food they're eating. Yeah, one of them's eating and the other one's doing the troubleshooting. Yeah. The high pitch sound's getting louder. We're getting some good money. We've got over $6,000 from this. There'll be some good money from silage. I'm looking forward to having a bigger scoop. And we'll have to transport it to the other sell points sometimes depending on the price, but never fill the bucket up to the 500 it's supposed to hold. It only goes till 98% every time. Drinking water. They need to do a live stream from the space station 24/7 every day of the year. Yeah, that way everybody could just log in and go, hey, what's going on in space right now? There would be extra excitement. I know teachers would use it for school. Darn it. Oh, me. I'm thinking of doing a video that has the whole Sabbath Great War album. Wouldn't that be a long video? As long as you have all the songs separated as well. There's actually a pretty big pile of silage here. Good thick layer of silage. Yeah, 42,000 left. And I'm doing 400 at a time. So it's 100 more times? 42,000 divided by 400. Isn't that 100 more trips? You can't put a bigger bucket on this tractor. You can put a weight in the back. It wouldn't. But you can't get a bigger bucket for this tractor that I know of. But our New Holland, we can get a bucket for that, which we will do as soon as we've bought more property. We'll upgrade that tractor so it has a bucket on it. Because we'll be selling silage more often. I haven't seen one for this tractor, an adapter for it, but there might be one out there. But if you put a bigger bucket on the front, you definitely have to put a weight on the back. No, not actually 2 hatches. They opened one of the hatches already, so Right, those stakes are halfway point, so I'm not even quite halfway done selling all this out. Oh boy. It's gonna take a while. If you want me to take a break and sell those potatoes in between, let me know and I'll do that. We're doing inventory. Basically, what did we eat and use while we were on here? What every piece that's going on to the space station. Oops. Watch where I'm going. breakfast, one lunch, one dinner from that bag. It's cool that you inventory, keep track of every single thing like that. Yeah, on the ground they want to know exactly what's been eaten, used. Yeah, uh, they got one of the Russian. There's only one American up there right now. Well, I guess there's three now. Whoa. Guess the tractor doesn't like it when I back into the tires. You know, we might have enough to buy a field after all this silage. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, that'd be cool, actually. Why not? If if the Dragon is going to be that much cheaper, why would the Russians not go, we could save ourselves millions of dollars by sending up our cosmonauts on the Dragon instead of sending it up on Soyuz? Yeah, Elon would be a huge fan of that. I think Trump would go for it too, but Trump would use it as a political win. Anything into that guy's mouth is political. I guess that goes for any president. Anything they say would have to be political. It's part of their job. But it'd be neat if to see Russian cosmonauts flying the Dragon capsule. Why not? The next capsule going up will be international. I think they have, I forget, is it French or an Italian astronaut? But the next Dragon capsule that goes up, the actual first flight that's not a test flight, will have not just American astronauts on it. I think there's going to be 4 astronauts on it. And how much can this capsule do? 5 astronauts? I think it can do 5 astronauts, right? 6? Oh, maybe a Japanese? There, that might be it. Yeah, I think you're right. A Japanese astronaut will be joining the Americans. Well, I'm pretty sure no country will be flying on a Russian rocket except for Russians. For sure, because every country will go, let's fly SpaceX instead. They're cheaper, and once they've proven a safety record, hey Jordan. I guess the Russians could ask Elon to come and build them a space agency there as well. Yeah, almost 2 hours already. The only issue they've had is the communications. Jordan, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm watching the live broadcast from SpaceX on YouTube. They're about to enter the space station. Hmm? Or he's got a water bottle again, yeah? Well, they probably have all these fans running up there, you get dehydrated. Looks like it's just a regular water bottle. I don't know if the end has got a... keep the water from coming out. It might have a special valve on the end. It's hard to tell. He's kind of hung it up over here, or he's trying to put it down somewhere and go, stay here. Hold it here, stay here. One second. What was that? We want to turn the cameras off for everybody. Basically, we need to use the restroom. I need a pee. Could you please turn the camera off? Dragon needs our official gravity cup holder. I don't know why they didn't just say it's like, hey, taking a restroom break, cameras off, please. It's a taboo subject to talk about. I guess I don't do it in my YouTube videos either. When I pull over, I never say, hey, I'm stopping to use the restroom. They probably don't wash their hands, but I bet you they got wipes. Baby wipes. I don't know how that would work. Yeah, good question. I don't know how that would work. We need to ask an astronaut or a cosmonaut. Hygiene, yeah. How do you maintain hygiene up there? You want to go eat? Well, I've driven in circles for the last hour and a half. Basically. It's not probably the last hour. Yeah, this will definitely be something we upgrade. We're gonna upgrade our tractor so that we can do silage faster in the future. But it's working. It's working. Okay, I'm going to take a quick little break from silage and deliver our potatoes. Well, let's look at a price. Yeah, they've kind of stabilized and they're staying there. Silage prices are continuing to go down, but still 199. Where's my line? Where will I stop selling silage? 170. I wouldn't want to sell it for cheaper than 170. Space station back on Russian thrusters. Yeah, I guess when the capsule hits the side of the space station, the whole space station is going to shift in space, where it's going to go off track, and you have to then use thrusters to get you back on track, going on the proper. Make sure you stay on the proper course, proper, facing the right direction, going the right direction, right altitude. So it'll probably be a few months before this capsule comes back down to Earth. This launch makes you want to play Kerbal Space Program. You try their SpaceX simulator at all? I haven't either, but it looks pretty cool. It's always cool watching on the International Space Station people just kind of relaxing in a really weird position. Jess was bringing up earlier too that that's a position that we would not be comfortable with. It's like the way they're just kind of like, okay, we're in just a relaxed state. This is naturally where our body just floats in this weird way. It's like your arms are just kind of hanging up in the air. How's this comfortable? But there's no weight. So when we hold our arms out like that, there's all the gravity pulling down on the arms. But up in space, there's no gravity pulling down, so that's a comfortable position to be in. Dragon has a few questions. Sunflowers I have in there. That is not a good price. Not yet anyway. We'll leave that tractor there. Oh, all my tracks are gone. Half an hour to hatch open? Basically, oh, hatch isn't going to open for another half hour. In that case, we don't want to do these steps here yet because we may need another drink. We may need another restroom break. Price of silage now. I said I would stop selling at 170. Still a way to go down. Yeah, for some reason FS19 how much I sell doesn't really alter the prices of, I don't know if it does at all. Oops, I wanted to go the other way. No, in 15, if you sold silage, the price of silage would just dramatically drop right away. In 19, I don't know if it alters the price at all. Because in real life, one farmer selling wouldn't make a big difference in the market. Yeah, there's little loops and stuff that they can put their feet under to hold on with their feet. Oh, the suit itself has loops around the socks or whatever to hold on. Probably Velcro. Sounds like they're having issues with camera setup too. The astronaut's like, well, normally we do it this way, but you want me to do it this way. Are you sure you want me to do it this way? It's like, you need to get power to these cameras. Normally we do it this way, and then it's not an issue. And to be fair, the astronauts are mostly scientists, so they're not necessarily the most tech savvy people out there. I mean, they're pretty darn good because they have to really be good at everything, but they still have some parts of their jobs. They're like, need support from the ground. Sounds like Houston and the ISS are finally communicating on the same page. Oh, that's why you're talking about batteries and power. Yeah, it's like okay. They're still having communication issues though. So Houston just is doing a hardline test. I thought the capsule said that we're not going to use the hardline. Well, it looks like they finally figured that out too. They still had interference. Didn't quite catch that. You can turn the volume on yours. If you turn the volume on yours, I'll turn mine off. You made it on the second try. Nice. I'm guessing you came in too fast on the first try. Ah, the yaw was too high. So you came in at the wrong angle. It's going to be close if we have enough money or not. I thought they opened one hatch already. Well, maybe that's that center Yeah, so oh yeah, so you turn them all on now. So now you can actually see the closer viewpoints. Got my blue screen of death. There's not a lot of silage left here, so it might not be quite enough to buy land. Might be just a little bit short. Yeah, I think we'll be a little bit short. Not quite there. It's okay. Yeah, that was definitely a lot of money in a. It's been very monotonous, but it's good money. What's that? Yeah, that hatch is open. Hmm? Pretty cool views there. flashlight's too bright for the camera when they're putting the flashlight right into the camera. Well, he's inspecting everything on the Dragon, making sure everything is exactly the way you expect it to be. Excuse me. No condensation. I guess condensation is a sign of a leak somewhere. Update on the inventory. Toolbox. Basically, it's his toolbox, taking it all apart. Oh yeah, so he's putting... Yeah, so all the tools, everything came with the SpaceX. to get rid of the bullseye type of all the stuff to connect to it. He has to remove, and he's covering stuff now. Basically covers all sharp edges. Yeah. Kind of neat to see what they're all the steps they're taking to. No, you can't come on board. We're still pooping. Poor Bob is still pooping. Uh, yeah, they're putting padding on all the sharp edges, anything that you're going to bump your head on or. They're running a little behind schedule, but they did have some problems. Alright, I can see what your problem is. You're hooked on the bottom there. Just undo that hook there. There you go. You got it over now. Yeah, 12:15 is past for Houston. He said, and then 11. I don't know what. Maybe, yeah, maybe they're based out of. I don't know where they're based out of. In half an hour, yeah, half an hour would make sense. Uh-huh. They're eager to see the new food. Go, hey, can we trade food? We're running low on the good food. Yeah, we're going to be short about $2,000. I think. I'll take a look at the price of the property, but I'm pretty sure it's 89. There we go. Silage is all picked up. Made some good money. There's little Ferguson. So Ferguson did some good jobs. Did some good work. Let's take a look. Oh, hang on. We're good. Buy. Yes. Look at that. We own a bunch of land. Oh, I got a lot of work now. Gotta cut trees and plow and... Before we do that, let's focus on, is there anything else to do on our farm? Or on our current fields? We'll have to see if... Land! Where am I? Oilseed has not grown yet there, so... Okay. I guess... Well, let's look at sunflowers price first. No, it's not really changing. I've got sunflower in storage. It's gonna stay in storage for now. So let's cut a bunch of grass. That's priority 1. And get a lay of the land while we cut grass. I do have another priority first, though. I've been wanting to fix this for a while. There might be some more underneath here that I have to do, but there we go. Put some shrubs on the side over there. That's better. Guess where all this grass is going to go? Silage pit. kind of hard to see if I'm driving in a straight line or not. It's like property ends over here somewhere. I don't think we're to a property edge yet, so I think we're just going too far north. There we go. Oh yeah, you can watch the degree meter. Yep, good point. I can watch the degrees. I want to be going at about 180 on the mini map. If I keep it around 180, I know I'm going the right direction. Thanks. Good point. Hadn't thought of that. I'm gonna open that hatch here any second now. What's that? Yeah, you can see through the window.
See Doug hurtling through the glass on the other side. And there's Bob Bacon.
Yeah.
And there's Bob Bacon.
I just want to watch this. Yep, we're watching a YouTube video while recording a YouTube video. First time in 9 years. Sorry if you can hear Jess's computer and mine. They're not synced. Mine is actually a little ahead of hers. I don't know if you guys can even hear it. It might be too quiet. Might be too loud for me now. Nothing's going on right now, but they're pretty close.
Dragon SpaceX on Big Loop. You are go for hatch opening per the decal. followed by the remaining actions in your procedure 4.400.
Basically, go ahead, open latch.
I can copy go for hatch opening and remaining steps in 4.400.
Is the latch open yet? I'm just trying to see. It's hard to see from this angle. There we go. No, they're still sitting. I guess the latch is right above their head there. Yeah. Yeah, they're. Yeah, he's turning it right now. There we go. They're pulling it.
And with that, the hatch is open. 12:02 p.m. Central Time, 1:02 p.m. Eastern. Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley opened the hatch to the International Space Station after launching from American soil on a U.S. vehicle for the first time in 9 years. The first time ever for a commercially built spacecraft.
Yeah, I don't care about the whole from American soil, American made, all that. It's who cares? But it's the commercial. That's the big deal to me. It's like private, not government controlled. That's the big deal to me. That's what I think the big deal is. That's the changer. The whole American thing, that's just all politics. Like, where'd the other dude go? But he's hiding down there. Yeah, they probably have a bunch of instructions to follow. Hey, hang on, you got cookies? I'll have cookie.
If you're just tuning in, the hatches are open between Dragon and the International Space Station. International Space Station Commander Chris Cassidy now talking with Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken aboard the Crew Dragon spacecraft. That hatch opened at 12:02 p.m. Central, 1:02 p.m. Eastern.
SpaceX Dragon on the Piglet. The hatch is open in 5.54.400. How copy?
Yeah. 2 Americans opening the hatch and 2 Russians are filming.
Great to hear, thanks.
I don't know, space should be international. It should be human. It should be Earth. It should not be political. That's called the International Space Station, yes.
And SpaceX Dragon in 5.9, we're going to exit out of 4.400 and transition to
you are complete with 4.400 and will follow along with you as you transition to the ISS procedure.
I think they're putting all the screens to standby mode to shut everything down. Energy efficient mode. I guess their checklists are like on iPads or whatever. Probably not iPads, are probably priority, like their own name brand tablets, but
This is Mission Control Houston. The crew of Demo 2 just performing a few closeout duties. The hatches are open. They were open 12:02 p.m. Central Time. We're moments away from the Dragon crew aboard Demo 2 to enter the International Space Station. It'll be the first time that Americans will enter the International Space Station on a rocket launched from U.S. soil, built by an American company. The first time ever Americans will enter from a commercially built spacecraft.
the commentary is kind of repetitive. But the Russian cosmonaut looked like he was doing a bit of a show-off thing. I think he's a Russian cosmonaut. It's like doing some weird loops there. I'm like, yep. Right side up is no longer right side up. Right? It's like right side up is wherever your feet are facing. That's right side up.
Houston on Space Run 2 for Chris. When you're able, we're just looking for a quick voice check on the mic.
Station Space Run 2, go ahead.
Chris, we were hoping we could voice check the mic just before starting the PAO event.
Okay, copy that.
Dragon on the big loop in 6.1 of 2.102. IMB duct installation is complete. Go for IMB fan activation.
Houston copies. Go for IMB fan activation. That's in work.
If you're just tuning in, you're getting a live look.
Well, it looks like someone's talking to a microphone, but we're not hearing it.
Station Houston on two things, Chris. We did hear you over the PAO side of things. That was a good voice check. We might ask you for one more. And then for the Dragon crew, you also have a go for 6.3. That's opening the location 23 and checking for debris.
Dragon copies 6-3 and work.
So right now there's only 3 people on.
If you're just tuning in, you're getting a live look. On the left of
Yeah,
your
it's only
screen is
2
a look
Russians and 1
inside
American.
the Crew
Well, I
Dragon
guess it'll be
Demo
3
2 mission
Americans
on
and
the right
2
of the
Russians
International
now.
Space Station. Bob Bacon.
And on the big loop, we are ready for 6.4 and section 4 of the LIO instructions.
And the American guy looks like he's pretty young.
And station, we copy. Dragon crew, you are
And
go
isn't
at
he the
6.4.
captain right now? The commander of the ship right now? I should call it a station. Commander of the station right now. Looks like they're pulling out filters or something. I'm not sure what this down here is. He's putting some kind of plastic cover on top of the filter. It looks like it's an air filter of some type. Of course, it's all new, right? So they've tested and practiced this all on the ground, but they haven't done any of that in space. So it's like everything's a little more difficult in space because you no longer have gravity.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're getting a live look at the inside of the International Space Station, losing video communication from the International Space Station. It will only be momentary. We'll have those views back to see Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley enter the International Space Station. When they do, it'll be the first time that humans will enter through this hatch for the first time in 9 years.
I say, I hope they're humans coming through. Yeah, if you look up here in the visitor section, probably family section. Okay, they're watching themselves on TV and jumping. That's what's happening on there.
Took a little longer.
We copy, Chris. Station Houston on 2 for Chris. When convenient, PO requests an additional voice check through the mic.
Yeah, everything is definitely slower than scheduled. Because they said they would do the conference by now, but they're not even out yet. So, but that's because everything's being done for the very first time in space. So, they're both test pilots, so they'll do a really good debrief and said, hey, we had trouble with this. This went really smooth. Is there a way of changing this for future missions?
And Chris, we're not hearing you in MCC. We are apparently getting it through to PAO. Just stand by.
Communication definitely seems to be an issue. Yep, they're going to have a live conference. Not really a conference, it might not be but they're going to have a live broadcast from space talking to VIPs on Earth. So hopefully the VIPs are people like Elon Musk
Chris, PAO's working calm. We can
and not politicians.
Check.
They haven't told us who's going to talk to the space station, but it might be politicians.
Houston and SpaceX Endeavour in 6.5 Lyle cartridge is sealed and installed.
SpaceX copies.
I think they're setting up some kind of air system, electrical system. They're setting everything up so that it will be part of the spaceship now, right? It'll be part of the station. Yeah, there's the zero G indicator, sparkly dinosaur, which is going to be sold out in every single store now.
Station Houston on 2 for Chris. We wanted you to confirm that the mic is in channel 1. It needs to be in channel 1. A thought here is that it could have been bumped over to 2. Chris, we see you trying. We're still not hearing you in MCC. We're working on it.
He's like, hey guys, just forget about the microphone and just use the one that the astronaut's holding on the inside. So that dinosaur is made of all these small little scales. What if those scales are coming off?
And Chris, nothing in MCC. We see you trying. The word here is
Because I know we've
in
had
channel 1. Any problems past that point are on our end, so we're looking into it. We'll be right back.
we've had stuffies where those little scales can come off, but
Station Houston, we're ready for another voice check through the mic.
well, yeah, they have to get all the cameras and microphones set up for the press event to justify why they spent so much money on this stuff.
Station Houston,
But it's
have it
still
right
a
there
lot
through the mic.
cheaper.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jess says it probably would be not nearly this big of a deal if it wasn't American showboating, right? I get you want to show off, but
SpaceX here.
you know, the American thing. They're doing the American thing. Yeah, the Russians changed as well. Changed their suits they're in. Yeah.
The ABV Inner Bravo is open, as well as the PPRV ISO valve.
At least the American commander is having fun spinning the
I copy
microphone.
that ABV Inner Bravo appears to be open, as well as PPRV ISO valve.
Go ahead and cycle them to close if you're good with that call.
Yes, we are good with that call and appreciate the status. Thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston. If you're just tuning in, hatches were open at 12:02 p.m. Central Time. We are moments away from Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley entering the International Space Station. Again, this is Mission Control Houston, moments away from Bob and Doug entering the International Space Station. Shortly after they enter, we will conduct a welcome ceremony. There will be VIPs here in Mission Control Houston, Ficker 1.
Looks like they're all closed visually now. We are in 8.3 for both SpaceX and Houston. Dragon arrival configuration is complete.
SpaceX copies. All valves appear closed visually now, and arrival configuration complete. Excellent to hear.
Houston copies. And with that, Endeavour, welcome to the International Space Station. Please come aboard.
Never copies, with pleasure. We'll be there in a second.
But don't rush me. I got stuff to do. My hair okay? My hair, yeah. My collar's nice and flat. Yeah. I look good. I'm good, ready for the camera. Do they get haircuts in space? Because if they're up there for months, they must.
We have Bob Behnken from SpaceX Demo 2 mission entering the International Space Station. Followed by Doug Hurley.
They've all been in space or on the space station before, so they... There you go. 5 astronauts in space again. Yeah, he must have hit his head. He bumped his head somewhere. He's making sure he's not bleeding.
And Station Houston, we see you, and it's a great-looking photograph. So thanks for that. Stand by one. We'll call you when we're ready for the event in the next few seconds. Got a whole bunch of very happy and grateful people.
Definitely smashed his head pretty good because he keeps thinking he's bleeding.
Demo 2 crew now aboard the International Space Station. They entered at 12:22 p.m. Central Time. The station at the time was 262 statute miles over Turkmenistan. Crew all gathered in front of the cameras at the Node 2 forward end of the International Space Station. Just behind them is the hatchway to the Crew Dragon on its Demo 2 mission. We're standing by for a welcome ceremony. We'll have VIPs here in Mission Control Houston ready to greet the crew.
So I guess this means with this, I think we're going to get a lot more traffic back and forth through the space station now. With this test done, there should be a lot more traffic going. The Russians will be going up and the Americans will be going up on a regular basis. And Boeing will be joining as well, right? So Boeing will be doing this as well. So you can... And the cost of sending scientific science projects up there, tests up there, will go so much cheaper that there should be a lot more of it happening, not just on the space station. It might even open the door for a new space station. Alright, he's got a paper napkin now to absorb the blood. He wants to make sure he's not bleeding all over.
Alright, station, it's Houston on Space Ground 2. Confirm that you are ready for the event.
Houston, this station, we are ready for the event.
Copy that. And sir, Administrator Bridenstine, welcome to MCC. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is the NASA administrator. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear, sir. Welcome to the space station.
Thank you, Chris. It's good to see you. And welcome to Bob and Doug. I will tell you, the whole world saw this mission, and we are so proud of everything you have done for our country, and in fact, to inspire the world.
We sure appreciate that, sir. It's obviously been our honor to be just a small part of this. We have to give credit to SpaceX, the Commercial Crew Program, and of course NASA. It's great to get the United States back in the crewed launch business, and we're just really glad to be on board this magnificent complex.
Hey, Moto Kids. Yeah, we're just enjoying this.
Well, we have some VIPs with us here, and I'm sure they have some questions that they'd like to ask you, but I have one of my own before I turn it over. And I just wanted to find out if you guys got any sleep on your way up there the last, I'd say, I get 19 hours. Did you guys get any sleep?
Yeah, I think a lot of folks in Hawthorne were asking the same question, sir, but we did get probably a good 7 hours or so opportunity for sleep, and I did succeed at sleep, and Doug did as well. So the first night is always a little bit of a challenge, but the Dragon was a slick vehicle, and we had good airflow, and so we had a excellent evening, and just excited to be back in low Earth orbit again.
Amazing. Well, one of the people that is here with us today is Senator Ted Cruz, and of course he's a huge advocate of America's space program, and he's been, somebody who has.
Of course, the VIP is a politician.
From one administration to the next administration, and the reason missions like this can have success is because of continuity of purpose. And Senator Ted Cruz was a leader on a bill called the the NASA Transition Authorization Act. And because of that, we have had a lot of political support, and we're very grateful for his leadership. Senator Cruz, would you like to say a few words?
Well, congratulations, gentlemen. The eyes of the world are upon you, and everyone is proud of you. All of America is watching you. And today and yesterday represent big days. We're looking at a decade since we've had American astronauts launched on an American ship from American soil. And I can tell you, I sat with my wife and kids in our living room watching.
I don't know if you noticed when he grabbed the phone, he wanted to social distance. You're grabbing the same darn phone the other guy touched. There's no point of social distancing.
And we're glad to see you've landed safely. We're glad to see you've docked. And so let me ask you, that Dragon is an amazing vehicle. How does she handle?
It flew just like it was supposed to. It was we had a couple opportunities to take it out for a spin, so to speak, once after we got into orbit last night, and again today about 20 minutes before we docked. And my compliments to the folks back at Hawthorne and SpaceX for how well it flew. It is exactly like the simulator, and we couldn't be happier about the performance of the vehicle.
What do you guys hope to accomplish in your time on the International Space Station?
Well, while we're on board the space station, of course, with the new spacecraft, we do hope to put her through her paces, and so the good ship Endeavour is going to get a lot of checkout over the next week or two here, and hopefully we'll be able to declare her operational, and Doug and I will be able to take some burden off of Chris and his crewmates, Ivan and Anatoly, so that we can keep the space station operating at its peak possibilities. So we're looking forward to contributing any way that we can, and like I said, trying to keep space station as productive as possible.
As a country, we're in the midst of a tough week. We're seeing protests, we're seeing a lot of anger, we're seeing violence. And I have to say, this launch and y'all's docking is a powerful inspiration of what we can do when we come together, of the power of unity, the power of ingenuity. And so I guess the last question I would ask you is since you have the opportunity to address, in particular, all the young people in America, what would you tell them in terms of what we can do when we can come together?
You know, that's a great question. 9 years ago, just about exactly 9 years ago, we docked with Atlantis on STS-135, the last flight of the Space Shuttle program, a 30-year program. And folks at SpaceX, folks at NASA, the Commercial Crew Program put their heads together and worked diligently year after year, making sacrifices, working hard, and then 9 years later, American launch capability was restored, and this is just one effort that we can show for the ages in this dark time that we've had over the past several months to kind of inspire especially the young people in the United States to reach for these lofty goals and work hard and look what you can accomplish.
Thank you, gentlemen. God bless you.
Thank you, Senator Cruz. We have another very special guest here that represents the Johnson Space Center. And of course, it's my good friend from the House of Representatives, Dr. Brian Babin. And I want to be clear, he also was a big part of the NASA Transition Authorization Act, which gave us the continuity of purpose to make this happen today. So, gentlemen, here is Dr. Brian Babin from the state of Texas.
Thank you. So great to be with you guys. I was at the launch yesterday. I just want to say a huge congratulations. And, you know, there was a thunderstorm that blew in about 30 minutes or 45 minutes or so before liftoff. And it was in doubt there for a minute, but it was just an enormous achievement. I just want to say thank you for you guys. Really appreciate what you're doing for America. And the crew that's already been up there, Chris, and your two fellow Russians, to give you a great big thank you as well. I have a son who was a Navy SEAL, and I want to thank you for your service there too, Chris. And also, I would like to just see what I know you said that the craft, the Dragon, handled very well, but I want to see how it compares with the space shuttle. If one of you would address that, I would appreciate it.
Well, thank you, sir. It certainly has been a long endeavor for us and our namesake spacecraft. We're proud to have her on board the International Space Station after all that the teams around the country and across America have done to get us here today. As far as a comparison with the space shuttle, both Doug and I took a few minutes while we were accomplishing the approach and docking to, in our spare time, talk a little bit about it. We were surprised a little bit at how smooth things were off the pad. The space shuttle is a pretty rough ride heading into orbit with the solid rocket boosters. And our expectation was, as we continued with the flight into second stage, that things would basically get a lot smoother than the space shuttle did. But Dragon was huffing and puffing all the way into orbit, and we were definitely driving or riding a Dragon all the way up. And so it was not quite the same ride, the smooth ride as the space shuttle was up to Miko. A little bit less G's, but a little bit more alive is probably the best way I would describe it. Anything else, Doug?
No? Sounds good.
Bob, what is Miko?
Sorry, I have to apologize for actually using the term Miko. It's a little bit confusing between the space shuttle and the Dragon vehicle. So it's a main engine cutoff is what Miko stands for. Those happened at different times in flight for the two vehicles. For the space shuttle, that was when you were all the way in orbit. For Dragon, that was just a little bit after 2 minutes. And then we had the single engine cutoff for second stage when we achieved orbit. So that time under the single engine under Dragon with one engine was more of an experience than the shuttle was for that 6.5 minutes or so that we were under that second stage motor.
Well, I would just like to say, in fact, Doug, did you have something you wanted to add there? I met your mother and father yesterday, Doug, and great folks. They're very, very proud of their son.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hopefully they enjoyed the launch. I know for parents, it can probably be pretty nerve-wracking for them to experience a launch. This was their third, so I'm glad everything went okay, and hopefully it was a good show. We haven't obviously heard or seen any video yet, but we're looking forward to seeing the launch replayed sometime.
I can assure you that it was a great show. It was one of the
guy in the mic.
of my lifetime, I would have to say, and many other folks that were sitting there looking all across the country and even the world.
The gentleman on the ground standing in
Senator Cruz said, we've gone through some really rough times over the last
on ground control. The guy with the phone doesn't know what Miko means. He's like, oh boy, you haven't followed space at all.
And SpaceX, and you guys being so well trained and having it go off without a hitch was a tremendous blessing for our country. And I can't tell you how many emails and communications I've gotten from people that who were so disturbed by what's been going on, transpiring around the country, to have the great news and the wonderful liftoff and everything going without a hitch. So I just want to say God bless both of you. Thank you so very much. Bless the rest of you folks up there as well. We thank our Russian partners. And thank you, Chris. Y'all are all in our prayers, and we're looking forward to seeing you successfully complete your mission and back on safely on Earth. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just so you guys are aware, the show was in fact spectacular. The ratings on NASA TV beat everyone else. Not just some of them, it beat all of them, and that includes...
Yeah, some of these guys aren't the most well-spoken. He's still dabbing his forehead.
It trended #1 on Twitter. It was the #1 thing talked about on social media in general. This was an amazing moment, and it represents a transition in how we do space flight from the United States of America. NASA is not going to purchase, own, and operate rockets and capsules the way we used to. We're going to partner with commercial industry for access to low Earth orbit, and those partnerships are going to enable our providers to get customers that are not NASA and drive down our costs. And we're going to have numerous providers that are competing on cost and innovation and safety. And we're going to have more access to low Earth orbit than ever before. And this business model, now that it's been proven on
yeah, Elon has been surprisingly quiet. Even yesterday he made us that one short little appearance at the press conference, and he didn't say much there.
Senator Cruz has this near and dear to him when we go to the moon. And of course, when we go to the moon, it's going to be done because the great...
I feel like he's trying to avoid the politics of it.
So many other centers across the United we go to the moon, we're going to land on the surface of the moon with commercial landers. And of course, we're very proud of the Commercial Lunar Payload Services Program being managed right here out of the Johnson Space Center as well, so that we can take small payloads to the surface of the moon. And all of this is leading up to an amazing day where we have humans living and working for long periods of time on the surface of the moon, but doing it with a purpose. And that purpose, of course, is to go to Mars.
Maybe he knows he'll say something that is not politically acceptable. He's like, I'll just avoid it.
We all know that if the government is creating the demand and the government is creating the supply, we will always be limited. But when we have partners that are interested in exploring commercially and doing the things that are necessary, to get capital investment, then we're all going to end up better. So I want to just say the whole world saw this. This is a new era in human space flight, and we are so grateful for the service of not just our 2 astronauts that embarked on this mission, but the 100,000 plus people that participate in it, in this mission. Everything from the suppliers to the main contractors, to the NASA team, the SpaceX team. What an amazing day for our country and, in fact, for the world. I'm going to turn it over for a second to my deputy, Jim Morehart, who's been a great deputy at NASA.
Gentlemen, congratulations. You know, Jim's mentioned going to the moon. And yesterday and today, one, you've inspired the Artemis generation, which is our next generation. And that's what this is about. It's really bringing the children that we've got and our grandchildren forward, so they'll be the ones that are going into deep space. This is the dawn of a new era, and we just thank you for being at the beginning.
I agree with him there. This is the dawn of a new era. This should bring a lot more space travel out.
It was absolutely our pleasure, but it's just a huge team effort across the board from SpaceX to NASA that made this all happen. We were just the lucky guys that got to fly the rocket yesterday.
I have a question for Chris Cassidy. Our crew here decided to be about 3 days late. You got to work them overtime, I presume, now to get them caught up on all the activities that they missed out on. Any plans for them?
Well, the day they missed out on was a good one for them to skip. It was Saturday house cleaning, but I took care of it for them. We'll catch up next weekend. But in all seriousness, we've got a few things to take care of tonight. Make sure we're all safe and we know the plan in case something bad happens. And then we're looking forward to some operational stuff later in the month. Maybe we'll get outside and do some spacewalks. And our efforts in these coming weeks will be in that effort. So we're all super excited to have 2 more crewmates to the Expedition 63 team.
I guess it gets pretty boring up there with only 3 people. It's nice to have a little bit of change, more people to talk to.
The astronaut office in the Johnson Space Center is led by Mark Geyer, and I'm going to turn it over to Mark for a few comments.
Thank you, Jim. Hey, it's great.
Especially if you're the only American up there. They're pretty good friends up there, the Russians and Americans, but still the culture is different. So having more astronauts can only be a good thing for their mental health.
For what you guys have been doing since you all arrived, and I know there's been a ton to do, and you've been really busy, and I appreciate that. So I also like this visual of our international partnership. We have had a tremendous partnership with Roscosmos, and we will continue to do so. But it is nice to see crew arrive from this side of the space station. So that was pretty cool after 9 years. I did have one question for Chris, though. What might you do to ensure that Bob and Doug stay longer? Do you have any strategy there?
Well, we'll slow down the rate at which I'm eating food, and maybe we can stretch out our consumables a little bit. But that's a great question. We'll have to come up with some conniving scheme here in the next few days.
All right, thank you. Thanks, guys. Look forward to greeting the 3 of you eventually back in Ellington after your work is complete. Thank you.
And, of course, Mark Geyer believe. Vanessa Weiss, if you'd like to come and say a few words.
Thank you, Jim. Hi, guys. You look really good. I just want to say on behalf of everybody here, we just want to thank you. It was an amazing launch, and we love seeing the docking. You guys all look really good. Just thank you for all that you're doing, and we can't wait for you to return, but not too soon. Station wants you to get a lot of work done, so looking forward to all of that. But thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Vanessa. We appreciate that.
All right, we also have with us Steve Jerzik.
Yeah, when he first entered into the ISS, you could see him go off camera. When he came back, he was holding his head, so he must have bumped his head somewhere there. We didn't see it where he bumped his head, but when he came back on the screen, he was holding his head.
An amazing job, and I can't say enough about it.
And it went down under the camera and then up around it, and it's like Jess is going, "Where's he going?" But he hit his head in there somewhere.
Hey guys, it is just great to see you all on the station. I can't tell you how my adrenaline shut down when you guys opened the hatch. I've just been on edge ever since yesterday, and the weather cleared. I can't tell you how great it's been to see you on station. It has been a team effort. I felt like the last 2 years I've kind of been part of the team, working through issues, and it's been a heck of a year and a half with Demo 1.
Two poor Russians look bored. They're like, "Yeah, we're here just for the photo op."
The escape system, and I just could not be more proud of the team for.
But he's asking us any questions.
It's amazing, and you obviously have been part of that. I really appreciate you all showing up in Washington D.C. at our reviews, and because the last thing we do at those reviews is look at you all, because you guys are the risk takers, and make sure you're okay with where we are and where we're headed. So I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate your active participation in that. And I could not be more, like I said, more proud of the team, and congratulations. And it is awesome to see you guys on station.
Well, thank you, sir. We're just proud to be a part of the team that got to bring spaceflight back to the Florida coast. I appreciated the comment earlier that it was nice to see a vehicle come to the forward portion of the space station, but I'll tell you what, that's the only way Doug and I know how to do it. So thanks to the team for providing it to happen our way. We appreciate that.
Well, Bob and Doug, just so you're aware, I'm being given the wrap signal. Doug, did you have something to say before we wrap it up here?
Oh, no, sir. We're just happy to be here, and Chris is going to put us to work, and hopefully we will fit in and not mess too many things up.
I have no doubt that you guys are going to do amazing work. I just want you to know the president came to the launch, and the vice president came to the launch. About half the cabinet was at the launch. We had members of Congress and members of the Senate from both sides of the aisle. And this was an amazing moment of unity for the nation. It was an amazing moment for the whole world to look up in the midst of a coronavirus pandemic and some other challenges. We were able to have...
Yeah, Elon's been on Twitter, but he hasn't said anything publicly other than that press conference, and he was pretty darn emotional at the press conference yesterday, but he might be getting in some actual sleep. Not that guy ever sleeps.
So grateful. I would also be remiss as the NASA administrator if I didn't promote what comes next. And of course, this is the beginning. We are now launching to low Earth orbit again, but we will soon be going to the moon. We will be going to the moon sustainably with commercial partners and international partners. We're going to use the resources of the moon to learn how to live and work for long periods of time. Ultimately, we're going to take all of that knowledge and we're going to go to Mars. And of course, this time when we go to the moon, we go with a very diverse, highly qualified astronaut corps that includes women, which is why we call the program Artemis, named after the twin sister of Apollo, and she, in Greek mythology, was the goddess of the moon. This is the beginning. There is so much more to come, and I'm glad that our representatives of the Johnson Space Center are here because we're going to be asking them to fund this project. And what an amazing day that you guys have given us. So thank you from not just me and the people here, but from the United States of America and people all around the world. I'm more popular on Twitter than I've ever been, and it's because of you guys. Thank you.
To the crew on the International
Thank you to all
Space
of you.
Station.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Chris, we ask that you just hold your position for a few minutes. There's, of course, a number of photos we'd like to take. And then a quick note for those down here in the room to Senator Cruz.
I'll continue back to the game for a bit. If you guys want to see more of this, just go directly to the SpaceX site and keep watching there if you guys join me on here. I'll just cut a little more grass and then I'm going to call it. I do have to do a bunch of real world stuff here. Wait, what was I doing? I was cutting grass, but what direction was I going? Around these trees, I think. Yeah, that was cool. It's kind of fun. Quite enjoyed that. Where's the edge here? Right about there. There's the edge. And there's the other edge. Now I want to be at 90 degrees, I believe. Pretty much aim for that rock and I should be okay. So once I cut all the grass, we'll gather the grass and then I'll start plowing some fields. It might take a while to get the whole thing. We need some more grass too, I think, right? Keep some of this as a grass field. I would like a second silage pit, so I gotta plan that stuff out, but we'll slowly convert this to fields and cut down some of the trees. I'll just turn around here. Yeah, this would be good. If I plow this and plant some proper grass over here, this might be a good part for a grass field here. In with the rocks and stuff, right? I like the idea. Yeah, Iron Thunder, you go ahead, eat. I'm going to actually probably call it a day here and stop streaming because I've got to do a bunch of real life stuff and I should have started that a while ago, but got to do some actual work. So, thanks for joining. I probably won't be here after you get your food. Yeah, should be another stream next weekend. Possibly a stream tomorrow morning as well. I'll probably do my laundry tomorrow morning. I'm not on my because delivery issues, I can't deliver this load Monday. So I'm not going to deliver the load until Tuesday morning. So I'm not going to leave till Monday afternoonish. So there might be a stream tomorrow morning. Yeah, they actually ended the live stream, called it. Alright, thanks Iron Thunder. This is kind of fun watching the space launch together with you, commenting back and forth. Father-in-law was commenting back and forth too. It was kind of fun. And Jess, just not to leave her out. Make her feel special. Hey, why am I under attack? No tickling, no tickling. You wanted the attention. I gave you the attention you wanted. Alright guys, thanks guys. I'm gonna save the game here and we'll bail out and call it a day. I'm out. This is fun.